Hello and welcome to the Hobby Maker tutorial YouTube channel. This time I'd like to show you how to use alcohol marker pens, how to blend with them, layer colour, shade with them. So let's get started. Let's talk about alcohol markers. These are interesting. They're usually dual tipped. So we have a chiselled tip and a fine point. I'm also showing blending and shading techniques. So this is one idea this is the finer point. This is one idea by just lifting off the pen as you go, just to let the pigment naturally lift off the paper. And because this is watercolour paper, you get those nice ruffled edges. Another technique is, if I choose the bullet tip, is to just stipple the pigment down in lots of stipples. Do more intense dots at the beginning and then just spread out the dots as you go. So that's quite a nice one. Easy to do with alcohol markers because the pigment just oozes out nicely like that. And then another idea is, if I pick another dark colour, is to do some cross hatching. So that's basically a few little strokes one way and then crossing over. Intense to start with, and then just spread them out as you go to create a sort of shaded effect. Cross some of them over as well to keep the pattern looking uniform, like that. And then another idea, let's pick perhaps the yellow, is to do some solid colour. As we're doing a bigger area, let's use the chiselled nib because we can lay down lots of colour. And then I'm going to use the sort of clear blender pen just to go in and pick out that pigment and just blend the colour out and soften the edge there. Because this is almost like clear alcohol. These pens are pigments suspended in alcohol, so we can really get that pigment blended out by using this clear pen. And we get a nice smooth transformation with the clear blender. Another idea is to just basically do some scribbling. So I'm just going to create my box to start with, and I'm just going to scribble away. Yes, as I said, I'm using watercolour paper, so the alcohol is really being absorbed into the paper and the ink is oozing out. Scribble beautifully. So there's some shading techniques. Alcohol markers work beautiful on sort of a super smooth paper. So here we have a sort of pearlescent-y sort of paper that's super smooth. So I'm just going to show you how that blender works with using the blender with two different colours. So we can blend out the pigment. This is drying nicely now and you can see. But if we want to sort of blend two colours together a bit more, then we can use this blender across the join of the colour. Top and the bottom, and then we get sort of join of colour, like that. And then another blending technique, if I choose a pale colour, perhaps this sandy colour, go back to the watercolour paper. So I'm going to, like with the first one, draw strokes across. But instead of leaving it like this, I'm going to go over it and just pick up my pen before the end of my last previous layer, and then again go shorter strokes. So I'm laying down more colour to get more of an intense shade, and that's another way of blending and shading, because you get that lovely gradual tone of colour as you work. So that's another option. Okay, I've got another piece of watercolour paper, and I'm going to just do a quick sketch, just really rough, quick sketch. Let's try doing an eye, just to show you how these pens work, just by layering them up. So pick a pale colour to start with. Almost sketch an outline with these to start with. Yeah, let's use the chisel tip and just go for adding more colour. Going over the top, this is the eyebrow. These are lovely for sort of graphic stylized work, highlighting, going over the top of black lines. You really get an intense, strong colour with these. And I'm just using all the colours, layering them up. You get different colours as well when you layer different colours on top of each other. Also makes new colours. Actually, I should just colour some of the iris of the eye. Let's go for a green as well. Oh, dark, intense green. We need that in the middle, don't we, for the pupil? Very good for bright work, cheerful colours. Add a bit of hot pink just in there as well. They layer up really nicely. I feel like I need a blue. Love how they glide over watercolour paper, actually, to leave this, the stippled look, the texture of the paper coming through. And then if we get a dark grey, I don't want to use black, I'm just going to go for a dark grey and just create some lashes. Just being quite sketchy really, and enjoying the process of these pens. Thanks for watching, and hope you'll like the video and subscribe to the channel, and see you again soon for some more tips and techniques.